This is the Battle for Normandy by GMT Games. We are playing the campaign game Breakout, which starts on the 7th of June all the way through to the 15th of August. This is the situation at the end of the 7th of June. If we look at the Allied sort of forces, the 6th Airborne are pretty much established in this area here across the Orne. The Germans haven't really put any pressure on them, so they've been far too busy trying to consolidate their front in front of Caen. The Allied units from Sword have made good progress, but they've run up against the 21st Panzer, which is by far the strongest German unit on the map at the start of the game. And they're sort of stonewalled there just outside the open terrain around Caen. The units from Juno Beach, the 3rd Canadian, have made reasonable progress. The Germans are pretty weak in this area, being gradually pushed back. And we look at the 50th Infantry that landed at Gold. It's also made decent progress and has made it into it's actually into Bayeux in places, which is a crucial German communication centre, which is basically cut. The Germans aren't really in any position to do anything about that. Omaha started badly, but the 2 infantry divisions, the 29th and the 1st, have gradually expanded the bridgeheads against very weak German opposition. We go over to Utah. The Allies, there's a cakewalk, the landing at Utah, effectively. They've got the 2 airborne divisions, 101st over up here and down here, and the 82nd there. And they've got support from the American 4th Infantry Division. And they've gradually consolidated a pocket and beginning to sort of put quite a bit of pressure on German units, 709th Division in this area. In terms of the Germans, they've sort of put a defensive perimeter around parts of Utah, not all of it, but the emphasis is to try and keep the communications open to Cherbourg as long as possible. The idea is to completely destroy Cherbourg. After that, we will let it, as a German player, we're going to let it go. What's left of the 709th and a few other units scattered around the Khotan Peninsula will do the defence, and the 243rd and the 91st will fall back to cut off the peninsula. In terms of other units, there's German units trying desperately to get to this position here to try and stop the Allies from expanding out of Omaha, because there's a huge gap here with virtually no defenders. There's a very small unit of the 30th Infantry unit here, which is trying to get desperately into the gap. There's a couple of flat units, but apart from that, there's some scattered bits of the 352nd, which are cut off from their main division, which aren't going to last very long. You've got 17th SS trying to come down this road here, but this is only a very small part of the 17th SS. A lot of it's still arriving up there. The Germans really trying to get as many units to the bridgehead as they can. Right, the 709th, sorry, the 716th are taking a hell of a battering around here. It's in a shocking state, but it's trying to hold the what passes for a front line in this area. We've got the 21st, which has got a solid defence around Caen, keeping the Allies out of Caen, but we've got other units coming in. We've got the Panzer Lehr and the 12th SS. Now, the Panzer Lehr is a very strong formation, but it took a hell of a beating from Allied air interdiction on the way here. Lost 3 steps from Allied strafing attacks. 12SS has been left alone, but it's coming slowly because it's not been on the main highway for as long as the Panzerlehr, so it's made less progress, even though it's had a shorter distance of travel. These two units, these Panzer units, have got to get into this area here and stop the rot, stop these really weakened infantry units from collapsing completely. There's another infantry unit gradually making its way to the front there. There's quite a lot of reinforcements coming on for the Germans, but virtually all the Panzer stuff is that they're going to get in the first few days is already on the board. There's quite a bit of the 17th SS coming on there, but the rest of the stuff that's coming on is some core stuff and infantry, etc. Now, in terms of the game itself, I've made quite a few mistakes in the early game. Unfortunately, most of them went in favour of the Allies. So I've had to give the Germans quite a few units back as a compensation to otherwise the Allies would have done ridiculously well. I got to admit, when I was playing, I was starting to think, this is mad. The Allies are just slaughtering the Germans here. I wasn't doing the combat supply points system correctly, that you can only attack without naval and air for one combat supply point if you're attacking from one hex. If you're attacking from multiple hexes, you've still got to pay the full price. That's something I was doing wrong. I also made the mistake with the stacking. I was using the steps here, the little dots, as the number of stacking points, but it isn't. It's the number to the side of the thingamajig. So that was allowing the Commonwealth to stack much stronger combinations than they should have been able to. I was thinking what else I did wrong. Oh yeah, I completely messed up the number of air points. I gave the Allies far too many air points, which was the main thing that was allowing them to just absolutely knacker the Germans. I think I've compensated as best as I can. There's no way I'm going to redo it all. The other thing, the Allies have been pretty lucky with their rolls. They had a lot of good rolls of the dice. That's just one of those things. In terms of German counterattacks, it's very limited at the moment. You just haven't got the units at the front to do a serious counterattack, and also there's a lot of gaps that have to be filled. So it's more firefighting for the Germans, and I can't see that changing on the 8th of June. One thing that has happened at 8th of June, the weather's got a little worse. It's gone from cloudy to overcast, so that's not helped. Just let me check that. Yeah, sorry about that. I just realised that I'd done the weather wrong. Instead of having it deteriorated, I'd let it improve. So that's changed the amount of armed recon attacks it can do. It's changed the interdiction slightly on the map. Anyway, that's all been corrected now, so there's no problem. In terms of the game itself, playing it, it's a little tricky to play in places. There's a lot of small rules that are very easy to forget, particularly around supply and support, using artillery, etc. All the different types of combat with artillery, and how much combat supply is actually spent. It's easy to get those wrong. It's also easy to forget. I always find I'm always forgetting these interdiction things that are like they're slowing the Germans down. Unless I have these huge post-its on there, I never remember. I find that I've got to use lots and lots of these cubes and sort of things. Like I mark anything that's moved or fired with pink cubes. I mark mandatory attacks with yellow cubes. Anything where you've already fired or attacked a hex, you put blue cubes down. You've also got the fact that you can attach 3 units to a division for moving, or you can attach 3 units to a division for fighting, but they don't have to be the same units. It's very difficult to track that. I know some people have actually produced some sort of like counters where you can actually track which division every sort of independent unit is currently attached to. I don't know, I might sort of print those off and create my own counters for them. I haven't decided yet. One thing I didn't mention is the sheer number of counter errata. Now, it's not a big problem for me because I've got the expansion. So the expansion actually comes, I think it comes with 60 counter errata. That's appalling. Anyway, so I'm gradually sorting all that out. I'm doing it as the units appear on the map rather than doing the whole lot in one go, because it's a bit of a tedious process. There was another thing I was going to mention. Oh yeah, there's also this errata thing that's on Board Game Geek, which I printed off. It's not particularly bad in terms of the sort of errata in the rules. There's a few problems on the map, a few problems with the scenarios, we get problems with the rules, but it's the counter errata which is embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. Obviously, if you're going to buy the new deluxe version, you're not going to have that problem. Right, that pretty much sums up the position at the end of the first day. When I say the first day, it's the end of the 7th of June. Remember, I'm playing the Breakout scenario.